Broadcasting live from the mixed-up world of Hyrule, this is the Link to the Past Randomizer League Season 3. Hello, everybody! My name is Dr. Bobtastic, and joining me today on commentary is Revolving Ocelot. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. This is a first race of Week 3 I'm getting to help out on, and honestly, Week 2 was fantastic. Week 1 I didn't get to help out on, but also fantastic. This is, the league is just such a great time overall. And we're hoping to distract you all from all the troubles that are happening in the real world today. Forget about all that.
There's absolutely nothing happening. I don't know what you're talking about. All right, so we are starting with standard, sword assured boots. I guess it's casual boots mode is really what's going on here.
Yeah,
and this is sort of the mode for this week. And the crazy stuff doesn't really start until, say, next week or the week after. Next week is the piloted spoiler log week, which is, or I guess 2 weeks from now, because the SG Live event is going to be kind of taking over the world next week. But,
But do not worry, because we will have plenty of Link to the Past randomized action at SD Live itself.
Oh, absolutely.
Games. Do check out all those other games. We are going to be broadcasting so much there.
All right, so we should be underway rather shortly. Yep. And we'll get to see. We'll get to see what the uncle has to say and where he's going today.
Casual has been one of my favorite new game modes. It's mostly replaced standard itself because not many people like standard due to the random weapon start. In casual, get a guaranteed sword start, and it just makes your escape so much cleaner, and you can just do it in a much more consistent fashion. Of course, this first item in the chest here is going to be random, and that is just $20. Racing for you today is Dracarys representing Never Do Chickens and Teto representing Major Mistakes. And honestly, that is a combination of team names I absolutely love. Somebody's going to put off that chicken hut, and that chicken hut is going to have a moon bow.
Somehow I don't think those are the chickens they're referring to, but all right, it looks like we have a 5 crystal in Eastern Palace, and then the other 2 dungeons are in fact the non-green pendants from the map check I saw there. And we're handing out big 20s like they're on sale. The other thing I like about casual boots mode is you get the boots, and not just because you can go fast, but also you don't have to sit and farm bombs because you can use the boots to get the items in the back of Escape here.
Little known fact, there is a set of bomb crooks by the Fortune Teller's Hut, which if you're so unlucky to go through the whole of Escape and the Lost Woods and you still have no bombs, and you kind of need bombs for Kakariko because you can't break down all the walls there with boots, you can just bonk into the rocks and retrieve some bombs from there, and then go to Fortune Teller's Hut, exit, retrieve more bombs. It's a really fantastic spot. That tends to Now, that is a very nice find, the ice rod in that first chest. So, fun fact about the ice rod here. Those blue guards, it will one-shot kill them. The green guards will just get frozen, and you can just throw those frozen guards at other guards if you want. But these blue guards, you can just one-hit kill them with the ice rod.
The blue guards? Interesting. I've never shot the blue guards with an ice rod. I'd have never figured that out.
See if either one decides to go for that. That looks like they're just both going for poke the door, aggro the guard, and spin attack him.
That being said, method. I would absolutely go for the freeze the green guard, throw it at the ball and chain guard strat here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's safe having to go into that room to pick up a pot. And none of our runners are going to be Death Warping to the front, because Death Warping to the front will kind of make you lose the princess here. Teto is just going to restore his health, so he's going to grab a pot anyway, and the green guard gets in his way regardless. But
excuse me?
What? Okay. I haven't seen 2 wards this close to each other since the time I covered one race which had both ice rod and fire rod and laser bridge.
I was like, careful.
I talk about that race way too much. I talk about that race too much. It was about 2 years ago now, and it's still way too memorable.
All right, so Fire Rod and Ice Rod ready to go. So now everybody's betting on Pendant Turtle Rock.
I mean, the next time is probably going to be a flute, and then we can just make all kinds of literary references.
There you go.
Ooh, Dracarys bonks into the chest there, loses a bit of time, and allows Teto to catch up a bit here. The fun of Escape is all about execution. Random items you get down here don't matter too much, but it is great to have those free bombs, because it means you probably don't have to go bonking into rocks outside the Fortune Teller's Hut, outside Kakariko.
Yeah, you definitely take the bombs if you find them, but you don't have to go out of your way to farm them.
Dracarys just about a second and a half ahead of Teto here, but so execution matters in these races. Sometimes it can come down to routing. One runner may choose to go to one dungeon and they find the necessary items there. The other runner picks the other dungeon available and has no items. But there's been so many close races this league already that execution really matters, especially here in the Invitational, where we have the cream of the crop who've been specifically invited to this league to play.
All right. And surprising literally no one, the small key there in that chest, as it literally had to be there. At this point.
Yep, but else it's gonna be vanilla.
One more key from a rat, and we're going.
Doing a little bit ahead here back in the last dark room. And nobody goes accidentally throwing a bomb at the door there. Love to see it. Oh my. What was I saying?
Ocelot, are you a witch? And do we need to burn you?
I don't know. We might be seeing some dragons in here burning some stuff because we have a Song of Ice and Fire. I do excuse the pun there. I am really boring.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
At least this last chest is going to be a mystery because we have seen the map. So what are we getting? A piece of heart. That's a downgrade.
Yep. That is, of course, one of very many pieces of heart in this game. 24. There's only one other item with more instances in the game, and that is the 20 rupees, which has 28.
None of our runners forgetting about bomb crooks either. That's just got enough of 3 bombs, so that should keep our runners covered for everything in Kakariko and South Shore if we choose to go there.
If I'm playing casual boots, the odds that I skip bonk rocks are about 50-50, just because I forget.
I've seen that happen. Luckily, not in the Invitational League so far. Bush Crab puffing up even more bombs.
Oh, we've got a book in there.
Schrodinger's anger. Hate to see it.
And, the book itself is what lets you, find out what those tablet items are without actually picking them up. And, of course, the desert access you might need it for. Ugh. It's a little bit iffy there.
Yeah, both runners opting to pick up the big heart container that's sitting there in the Lost Woods. Probably an upgrade of the mushroom. You can now eat the mushroom to gain health, unlike some other games.
But you can use the mushroom to fake powder. So...
may give you health, or he may give you bombs, or he may give you a hook shot. He's a weird guy with his curses.
I mean, the thing is, I've seen people use the fake powder just like in an NMG run to refill their health at the top of GT.
A proper tactic, and in fact, in Randomizer itself, runners somehow don't have the actual powder by then and really need to top up their health. You don't see it too often, but it's always a pleasure to see it.
That being said, before that becomes relevant, we need to find the mushroom at all. So, hello, we've got ourselves a bow and another sword
and a glove.
And a glove. And blue mail. Yep, that is a I'm pretty sure they just relocated Hype Cave here is what they did. Blind just went to Hype Cave and stole all the good stuff and put it in his own house.
He is a thief. You'd expect him to do that.
Yep, it is in character.
Going into the well with plenty of bombs and plenty of... Oh my, that's a hammer back there. Where's our moon pole? I quite like a moon pole right about now.
I mean, you said it was going to be in Chicken Hut.
Unfortunately, we do have...
I believe you.
So we're not going to be last locationing that.
Hello.
Yeah, okay, that's a Stackerico confirmed. Mirror from the bottle fender.
And of course, both runners remembering to activate the flute. Yet another thing I'll tend to forget.
I've seen one instance of an early flute being forgotten to activate, and the runner's like, oh dear, I need to save and quit the sanctuary and go back there. Right after they did their first save and quit. Not today, though. Runners are on point.
Dracarys from Never Do Chickens, currently doing chickens. Just saying. Beautiful.
And that's why I don't do chickens. It does cough up a single green rupee.
I've seen that happen in the actual chickens they're referring to, which is hilarious. All right.
Back of the bar is 10 bombs. Yeah, we're pretty much covered for all of the early game checks here.
All right. Another great thing about the boots is you can get what's on the library, but it's just 10 arrows.
Now, you do have a bow to shoot as arrows, but both our runners are maxed out already. So nobody going for the item top up there. And just 3 bombs on the race game, so we are leaving that behind and heading to Dam in Dracarys' place. With like boot start, you often see some early place to Shahasrala near Eastern Palace because it's just like super quick to get over there and check out the free items there. But both our runners with that early flute are just opting to do a more traditional Dam start, and then you might see some runners go left to go check out the Gina. Otherwise, you typically see them go right because there's way more items over there.
Yeah, I don't expect to see a left play here.
Backtrack to Kakrika sometime because that is our first bottle there under the water.
Yeah, luckily the flute makes that a trivial trek. Just flute to 3, like you always say.
No need to go throwing bombs at the moldoms here. Just kind of swing your sword at them and make magic stuff come out and kill them for you.
All right, there's our moon pearl. Sorry, I keep running over you, dude.
Yeah, this is sub 12-minute Dark World. That is pretty fantastic. And look at the items you're going to be entering Dark World with. Power Glove, Hammer, Fire Rod. You can do so much. You can clear Palace of Darkness straight away. Huh.
You can hover your way into Turtle Rock. No, I'm kidding. You need the glove.
He does not want to go this Ice Rock Cave. Now, what you can see Dracarys do here is get the item in the Ice Rock Cave and set up a water walk using the exit of the Ice Rock Cave so that they can go have a look at the Zora area. He is lacking some rupees to check out the King Zora himself, but you can have a look at the Waterfall Cave and get stuff in there, or you can just flute away and go do the Pass of Darkness play, just like Teto.
Yeah. Now, Teto here decided to go to this, go to the Dark World. He's going to do a quick mirror to Sazrala's closet. But we did see that Swamp Palace today is our green pendant, and Turtle Rock is the other 5/6 crystal, actually. So turning out to be an interesting play here. Now the downside with coming over here is some, though not all, some of Palace of Darkness and Eastern Palace will be out of logic. Certainly not inaccessible on account of, having the skill necessary to beat dark rooms. But It's not something the game would expect you to do.
Teto is actually going for the easier play here, which is Eastern Palace, which I can appreciate, because Eastern Palace is a way easier dungeon to clear in the dark than the Palace of Darkness is. And if you can find some additional safeties here, more profit for you going into Palace of Darkness.
Yeah. Going into Eastern first, I think, is probably just the objectively better play. That being said, Dracarys is about to prove me wrong.
Both our riders have the skill to pull off the basement of Palace of Darkness with in the dark. They already have Blue Mail and 6 Hearts, so they can easily pull this off. It can be a little tricky down in the dark there, because those turtles, if you can sort of maneuver them in a specific way, because they just will always track your location in the room. So if you're very careful with your movement and your hammers and your hammer usage, you can avoid trouble in there. It's just when you're not perfect with your movement that they can get a bit out of control.
Well, once again, they do have the fire rod, so they can light the torch in that room if necessary.
Yes, they can light up the torch in that room and make it so much more easy.
And I mean, I would.
Anyway. Oh, I definitely would, because I'm terrible at dark rooms. I can do Eastern Palace, and that's about it.
All right, Eastern Palace, big key located in the third chest of Eastern. Meanwhile, keys for days in the front of pod like you do.
Okay, 3 bombs in the big chest. That could mean Compass is either on Armor's Knights or in the vanilla big key chest. And he is not going to take the boss gamble. He is going to check out that big key chest.
Seems reasonable. Early on, taking gambles like that, it doesn't feel terribly right. You know, if I was in here real late in the game and needed to quickly get through the dungeon and just hope, then maybe. Yet another key.
It doesn't take too much time to do this, but you can save yourself a good minute or so by skipping out on this.
Was that a 6-key front?
You know what they say about Palace of Darkness? Business in the front, party in the back.
That they do.
That was the compass there in the big key chest, so Tito's little gamble, if he had decided to go straight for the boss, that would have paid off. See what Dracarys does there. And this is entirely in logic for Teto, because he can proceed to the back here. He did not know he need to go into the other dark rooms, and he can light up that torch to get himself vision. So the boss of Eastern Palace is entirely in logic. But the previous chest, not so much.
Luckily, entirely unnecessary as well.
Now, I did like that he popped into the rupee room there to just grab a few extra rupees, because you're probably going to be seeing some of our runners head over to the King's Ore and Catfish area, because you have got a mirror to just root it in super quickly.
So Dracarys just found the Titan's mitts in pod in the extra rupee room there.
Yeah. Honestly, this is just incredibly stacked early game. It's been a while since I've seen one of these. We have a real jet seed going on here.
Like, are we going to have a sub-hour seed going on here? That's what it looks like from here.
Calls of hover seed in the chat already, and Storm Palace is a pendant. We could have a hover seed here if the hookshot doesn't pop up somewhere.
Oh, look, there's the Cane of Brian there on Armor's Knights. I mean, not very few things are going to necessarily require that, but it's not a terrible thing to have. But yeah, I think all 6 keys in the front of pod were small keys, or all 6 chests, which is very, very rare. Usually you see 4, sometimes 5. 6 is very, very rare.
Anticipation of a back even better, and you don't have to worry about things like is Harmless Hellway going to be a key to unlock a door to get just another small key and things. It just makes it simpler.
Mm-hmm.
Teto not really finding anything in Eastern Palace to help him in Pass of Darkness, but he has that firewood. He's going to have a pretty easy time regardless. He's only missing one heart container compared to Dracarys. And Dracarys is going to proceed into those rooms where it's in the dark can be pretty tricky, but that firewood just helps out so much.
I definitely expect some fire rod strats here. The first room, you just need to hit the hammer here and then get up in the corner. And, oh, sword beams. I forgot you had sword beams. Normally I switch to the bow there, but yeah, that's a thing you can do.
Yeah, just so long as you don't go into anything beforehand. Here there's naughty turtles. A few stamps just takes them all out. It's the difference in that room between being able to see what you can do versus not being able to see anything is just so significant.
I mean, there's not a huge reason to do one over the other first. The reason I would particularly do Eastern first is because it's just a little easier to do, and there's not really a lot of difference in the time between them. And so you do the easier one so that you can get potentially more equipment or better things for the more difficult one.
Considering the fire rod, I think the only point of contention in Pass of Darkness really would be the Dark Maze. You would not want to take an accidental mirror to the front, courtesy of Teto.
Good point raised in chat there. It is technically faster to do pod first that way you don't have to mirror additional times. And the mirror transitions are about 2.5 to 3 seconds a piece, so I actually don't know how long they are.
Especially in the race with this, where if runners making mostly the same decisions, it can come down to those little time saves. Teto grabbing those mitts and just wiggling a little more to go grab some extra rupees here. He's definitely planning on going on Zora. He's got exactly 500 now.
Exactly, Zora money. There we go.
So after paying off Zora, we've paid 100 to the bottle fender, we have paid off the Zora. There's just the digging game left and the chess game in Fields of Outcasts, and not really much need for extra cash in the seed. It is pretty impressive considering I don't think we've seen any big 300s.
We saw one. It was in the dam.
In the dam.
I don't know why I remember that. It's usually not that significant.
So you see Teto here is trying to navigate the Kodongo maze, and he's getting low on health. He checks his one bottle, and that's only got green goo in. That's not going to help him here. Although he's activating a Cane of Burner, and if he wants to keep using it and get rid of them safely, he can chug that potion.
All right, he's getting closer. There we go. Just needs to head down and to the left from here.
Yeah, this is dark rooms that you can really struggle in.
There you go.
But if the easiest way to know what you're doing is just to open up a map of the room, and you can work out where you're going just from that.
That was a French vanilla single arrow. As I believe the actual single arrow is in the horseshoe room with the rupees.
Tried to death warp himself back to the front to reset his HP, but unfortunately he had iframes from the first bomb, so the second bomb did not finish him off. I think he placed the second bomb a little too quickly. Anyway, he gets a free trip back to the front with his health no longer being 1 heart. Dracarys not going for the extra rupees in pod that Teto went for, and also not going for the rupee room in here. It looks like Dracarys is going to skip out on the Zora area. So we'll see if that gives up anything for Teto that comes into play here. Honestly, we've seen so much here that there's not a lot there that can be there, actually.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I think you're pretty much banking on, important things being in, one of the more common locations, Paradox Cave, Village of Outcasts, things like that.
Just a seed where we could skip Hookshot. It's also a seed where we could skip Flippers as well.
True. Very true. And, I actually don't know about whether or not these runners can hover, but more runners can hover than you think can. That's the, usually.
Hovering has become a lot more practiced by people these days, simply because the amount of times that they've seen hookshotless runs just trivialized by a hover past the Moldom 2 pit is just enraging people enough that they start practicing hover.
I mean, it is something I can pull off with some varying degrees of success, so it's not impossible.
The plan was to head over to the Maya area straight away, and we see there's 5 rupees on the desert ledge. Might see Dracarys pop into Desert Palace a bit just to clean it out of items, because that's pretty quick. But we're going to have establish what medallion we need for our dungeons pretty early on here. And let's check out the Maya set and Checkerboard Cave, because we do have that early mirror too, and that is Bombos.
Bombos is in fact the medallion we will need, so that's one. Still need to find out about Turtle Rock. Speaking of the flippers from a little bit ago, there are said flippers inside Mire Shed.
Well, that puts Ice Palace in logic. Ice Palace is a dungeon I wouldn't particularly like to do without the Cane of Samaya these days, but the Cane of Samaya can be located in there, so I'd rather think about doing it sooner rather than later, personally.
The only thing about the Cane of Samaria is there is a chance that the dungeon itself requires the Cane of Samaria by logic, so it's a little less likely to be in there than other places.
Yeah.
But, so that's why I see a lot of people will put that off even when it's in logic. Also because it's just way more convenient to do with the Cane of Samaria because it's not broken at all. I don't know what you're talking about.
Speaking of broken, Dracarys has picked up a Tempered Sword in Desert Palace. Well worth the dip just for that alone. And not trusting his health back to that misadventure in the Pod Dark Maze, Teto is picking up a blue potion there. He did enter into his first dungeon before Dracarys did, and obviously finished his second dungeon after Dracarys did. And I think that was partially down to his portal timings, of course, but also partially down to the annoyance he had in that dark maze. But he's actually going for the same Maya play here, so we'll see if he gets that Temper Sword as well in Desert.
And Dracarys has in fact located both items now in Desert. That was in fact 50 rupees on the right side, so that's all Dracarys is going to do here.
Skip. Nice.
And you can bet that if there is something on the pedestal of this seed, it will be a blind pull. Because ain't nobody want to go to Aga 1.
Red Mail, Tempered Sword, sub 27 minutes.
Must be nice.
Now, I know the sickly green Dragonite sprite is, I think, the shiny Dragonite, but I'm not sure where this bluish purple Dragonite is from.
Oh, interesting. Teto is deciding to skip out entirely on Desert, so he's going to miss that Tempered Sword for now.
It's unfortunate.
Now, of course, there is at least one more sword out there to find.
Yeah, but Dracarys is going to be able to kill stuff much faster this seed, and that will give him an edge on, especially in dungeons like Ice Palace. That is just a lot easier with the Tempered Sword.
All right, we got Hype Cave, ladies and gentlemen, which is So far, not that great. and straight up Garbo.
Yeah. There's a book there in King's Tomb if you ever wanted to aggro one with style for that book.
I think King's Tomb was objectively better than Hype Cave this time.
I'm going to have a peek into Skull Woods here before doing the Face of Outcasts, while Tito's going to do his South Village checks, and then probably going to Feast Town straight after. Now, Pendant Thieves Town has a bit of a reputation for always having necessary items, but all of the Crystal Thieves Town I've seen this league have also had necessary items. I don't think I've seen a single dry Thieves Town yet.
Oh, hey. Hello! Okay, we got hookshot.
Not going to have any hovering necessary in this siege to shortcut it, but that does put the unfortunate bugbear of opening up all of Swamp Palace in logic already.
Gross. And, you know, the Cane of Samaria can hide in there quite frequently. It's not outside the realm of possibility.
Could be Green Pendant. That's the way you slow down this siege. Stick the Cane of Samaria on something nasty.
Now, that being said... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Now that we've talked about it, the Cane of Samaria is going to probably end up somewhere nasty at this rate.
Yeah. Now, that being said, I would bet a very large amount on the Bombos Medallion being in Ice Palace. Just because it likes to do that when you have the Fire Rod available.
Honestly, my anecdotal experience of medallions is that they just tend to be all over the place, really. They don't have specific places they like to hang out. But that's just for me.
And Dracarys got 1.0'd.
Was he 1.0'd? It looks like the War Master grabbed him before he fell in the pit.
That's what 1.0'd means, I think.
1.0'd is if you get killed or grabbed with something as you're because in later versions of the game, you cannot take a death or get grabbed whilst you're falling in the pit. In 1.0, which
I thought he had fallen in the pit and got grabbed. So maybe I just wasn't paying attention.
Looks like the War Master was a little bit away from the pit, so I think they got grabbed before falling in. But I might be wrong about that. I didn't see the grab itself. Yeah, 1.0 is in reference to version 1.0 of Link to the Past, which is the Japanese version of the game and what the randomizer runs on due to all the extra glitches available to it. Unfortunately, that is one of the extra glitches that is not appreciated by runners. But I'm talking about stuff here like, say, deleting mirror blocks, well, push blocks with the mirror if you're inside a cave or in the open world or something. That is specific to 1.0 and this is really nice. Speaking of really nice, there was a moth to kill there, and I did not need to talk about that one bit because Dracarys just did that in record time.
Yeah, and of course the Tempered Sword makes that much, much simpler.
Yeah, Teto will be heading up there after Thieves Town probably, and will be having a slower boss kill. But his sword disadvantages will not be penalizing here in Thieves Town. Although he is picking up the purple chest, and he's going to hand that in first.
Yep, and then he can flute right back to 3 and get right back where he was.
Yeah, because he's got it right there. Quite a efficient way to do the Smith chain. I do like it. Just 3 bombs.
Additional garbage all around. So really, we're just looking for the cane and the medallions for the for Turtle Rock and Misery Mire, one of which is definitely Bombos.
And if you do want to see this run get bogged down into meaningless padding, which everybody hates, right? Nobody wants to pull a pedestal, right? But
of course not.
Any could be on pedestal. Because all of those dungeons are available to us with our loadouts. But nobody wants to see that. Nobody cares about pedestal these days, right?
Exactly. All right, so Dracarys went ahead and located both items within Skull Woods right next to each other, one in the big chest and one in the chest in the pot prison room. And both of them were some form of rupee, so nothing to write home about. And we'll get to see what's in Thieves Town now.
Yeah, Dracarys is definitely clearing dungeons faster than Teto. They're committing to less overworld than Teto is, and just, hey, it's like, you've got these dungeons, you can clear them, why not just do them easily and worry about the overworld afterwards? Which is, I think it's definitely the better play here. Especially when you have so many dungeons you can clear. Considering how jet the seed has been so far, it is entirely possible that all the medallions and the Samaya could just pop up instantly in the dungeons on your way, and you can just get your go mode from that, and we'll be seeing super quick clears.
Yeah, basically, it's sort of the strategy for this tends to kind of start in a open, grab all the things you can phase in the early part of the game, and then once you've amassed your initial checks, basically just start clearing things you can until you can't anymore, and then you can start checking the out of the way locations if necessary. That's usually how most player strategies go.
Alright, Dracarys the key door as Teto is on his way to the basement. Yeah, like I mentioned before, Dracarys is definitely going to have a dungeons advantage here. We haven't seen Dracarys done too much extra overworld compared to Teto, except for Iceworld Cave. I think that's the main difference between them. Dracarys has done Iceworld Cave, Teto hasn't, but Teto has done that whole Smith chain, and Dracarys hasn't.
Now, Teto does have the hook shot to show for it, so that is an upside.
Yeah, if Dracarys decides I don't want to do stuff like K45 to get that hookshot, I just want to go straight to Ice Palace, then they could be missing out on that. And hookshot can be considered necessary for Ice Palace if you get a particularly rude key logic in there.
Yeah. That being said, I don't expect that to be skipped particularly at the moment. Especially unless like for some reason we find the Cane of Samaria here, at which point you might decide to go to Ice immediately or Turtle Rock or something up the mountain. Either way, up the mountain does seem pretty good right now. Just saying. There's a lot of items up there.
Might want to pop into Hera, and Teto will have a much nicer Hera due to having that hookshot that enables the Hera pot skip for him, which makes Hera probably the quickest dungeon in existence. Dracarys will not have that unless they do K40. Well, unless he does K45 first. But it is mighty tempting to go up there. If you just happen to find medallions up there, you still wouldn't be able to do anything in Turtle Rock just yet due to no Camp Samaya. Okay? So I can see runners just putting off Death Mountain as long as possible, hoping to find out Samaya or some medallions first.
Alright, so Teto is now heading up to Skull Woods as might be expected.
Yeah, his Master Sword didn't really penalize him in Thieves Town here because Blind is a funny boss who takes the same damage from any weapon in the game, be it a fighter sword, a cane or Samaya block, or a gold sword.
Even the Cane of Burna does the same thing.
Yeah. You ever find yourself in low percent blind, but you've got a Cane of Burner, absolutely slap that on and just walk into him.
Yeah. Now the only weird thing is there is one weapon, quote, weapon, that won't damage blind, that will damage other things of the same type, and that is bees. Bees don't damage blind. They do damage moth, however.
Give some facts about bees. Well, that attack moth species, but I do not know any. I'm sure they exist though, or maybe they are just wasps and hornets.
Yeah, bees definitely exist. that is a true fact about bees.
Pointed out a link between worlds to not add hornets as an upgrade to bees.
And the gold bee is a lot more expensive.
Now, Dracarys is not heading to Ice Palace immediately to go do another dungeon. They are going to do a little bit of overworld here because there's a lot of checks here, all condensed pretty tightly together, especially since you have all the navigation items like mirror and flute. So we're probably going to be seeing him grab as well, so they're not going to be penalized by that.
Yeah, definitely a nice pickup coming up here for Dracarys.
Nice, this Morphula, he is just hanging out by the spikes constantly for Teto and not allowing him to get any damage in.
Yeah. Now, Teto did go ahead and put together that hammer strat there, because when you don't have the tempered sword, the hammer will do in a pinch. It's just got a worse hitbox. Same damage though.
And I think the worst hitbox is the most problematic on this boss in particular because he flies around, the conveyor belts move you around, you're very, very prone to walking into the boss and taking a body blow. And having a smaller hitbox on the weapon, it just makes that way more likely. But we
luckily,
do have,
yeah,
to just take those blows like a tank.
Yeah, red mail makes Mothula deal only half a heart of damage to you, so it's pretty nice.
Just a few spikes. Better to walk into the moth than a spike.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. The mails kind of have a different effect. If you have green mail, you'd rather get hit by the spikes. If you have blue mail, it doesn't matter, and if you have red mail, you'd rather get hit by moth. The spikes are constant.
So still having Stumpy and K45 to do, it's going to do the traditional method of dragging the purple chest along for the ride. I imagine they will probably be leaving it behind on the next screen in particular and just going over to where the locksmith is in the light world, but in the dark world, and just mirror over there and suddenly hand in that chest from a whole screen array.
Yeah, and a whole nother world too. Yeah, basically, pick it up again, make sure you got it before you go to the dark world, and then you can leave it behind, basically.
Yeah, you don't want to leave it too many screens behind because that will just despawn a chest and you try to hand it in and you don't actually hand it in at all because the glitch you're expecting is actually no longer a glitch. But if you do leave it behind in the screen, you can go into this one, the one down south, and over to the one to the left, and the purple chest will still be there. And when you mirror over to Light World, game thinks you've got it, and you can hand it in. As long as you do the transition standing next to the locksmith. I'm not sure what Dracarys was going over there. Can't.
Neither am I.
And you're probably not getting that book unless we end up in a desperate scenario.
So yeah, Teto missed the Tempered Sword in Desert Palace. Dracarys went in and checked the items there. And Teto decided, nah. But did go ahead and get the red mail out of Checkerboard Cave.
Up to do Hype Cave, we might see him go over to the Pyramid and the Catfish area after this, or maybe they will just go straight to Ice Palace. They've got a few options here. Our first item on the mountain is an Ether Medallion.
That could be important. We still don't know what the medallion for Turtle Rock is.
What? That's essentially.
Yeah. In fact, if I recall correctly, looking at the randomizer code, the first thing that the randomizer does after putting the crystals and pendants, is assign those medallions. So before any other items are placed, the medallions for the dungeons are set. So that is a pure 1 out of 3 chance each time.
Dracarys grabbed 100 rupees from the Lake Hylia Island and is not going to Ice Palace just yet. They are going to do their swimming checks. So we've got a hobo coming up here, and we'll probably be seeing them head to the Saw area afterwards.
Yeah,
Not great to rooting catfish as well, but you'll take what you can get.
Yeah, you definitely want to try to get the get these items out of the way if you can. Maybe find the Cane of Samaria before you attempt Ice Palace. We'll see. Looks like Dracarys is going up to the mountain now.
Yeah, literally just checking a hobo and then leaving. Okay. So what areas will remain a mystery for now? So in the bottom of Paddock's cave we had a blue boomerang, and in the top of the cave we just have a bunch of nothing.
Yep, Garbo and a half, I believe, is the contents there.
The Blind's hut has stolen all the thunder from these other lucrative caves.
Mm-hmm. We do still have Super Bunny Cave and Hookshot Cave. Words are hard.
Absolutely are. That's why they get people like us to do the talking rather than racing. You never want to see me do a race. It will always be last position. Especially when you throw Ice Palace into the mix. I am terrible at bomb jumps.
Oh, hello. We got half magic.
Okay, that's a nice sign. Since we've got to do a bunch of bosses requiring magic still. Real nice for Cold Stare.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have a much easier time knocking that tempered sword due to having half magic on Cold Stare. You can just use half your magic to break open the shell, and you still have a bunch of fireball shots left over for the Cold Stare.
That appeared to be the Ether Medallion there for Turtle Rock. So,
okay.
And interestingly enough, Dracarys actually did skip the old man here.
A fat green 20 there. So that is just like a filler item to replace the boots. It does not mean that boots would have been located there if this wasn't a boot start. It's just the item that's been put there to replace the blank item that's in the logic now. That green 20 could be in the boot slot location like Bonk Rocks. It would not obey the actual logic that boots would have.
Yeah. For a while, I thought the extra boots or whatever were actually accounted for in the logic. Turns out I was full of it.
Yeah, and that will just come up as either green 20 or nothing at all. I'm not sure what makes a difference between those two, but they're both pretty meaningless.
Well, there's a cape inside Spiral Cave, so that's going to put the Bumper Cave in logic.
Yeah, I haven't seen Bumper Cave yet. Teto is done with the mountain and is just leaving. Looks like they are going to be heading over to... where are they heading over to? Don't tell me Swamp Palace.
Could be. Oh my goodness.
This is
no
gutsy.
way.
This is very gutsy.
Okay. Well, we will see.
There are Swamp Palace. There could be a Cane of Samaria. There could be a Bombus in here, and you would feel real good if you found any of those in there. If there's nothing in here, you feel really, really bad about this play.
Yeah, so basically Teto is kind of risking his entire run here. He's just like, do I go for this or not?
It's the big gambles, and you gotta appreciate the big gambles. They often don't pay off, but when they pay off, they pay off big. And Dracarys is definitely heading into the Ice Palace there because that is a crystal dungeon with 3 items inside. Should be able to complete it with any luck. Shouldn't need a Cane of Samaya in logic to complete it. And even if you don't have a Cane of Samaya, luckily we know how to bomb jump, so we can complete it anyway. But I guess it does make it really unlikely that the Cane of Samaya is in here, though. I just think this is gutsy by Teto because he does have much, much quicker pendants to do. The Desert Palace and South Hera.
So we had a vanilla map there for Swamp Palace and a small key in the first chest of ice. That's always welcome, especially if you don't have the cane, because you can at least make the later sections of this dungeon a little less painful.
No, you do not have the big key yet. You cannot go open a big chest and go straight to the boss. And you probably should do this compass chest first. That's just smart. There was one race I covered which had a sword in this one chest here. Both runners were in go mode. One of them went for the chest, the other didn't, and that made a critical difference on Ganon.
Alright, so Teto is going for the back first here, which is interesting in a pendant swamp. In a crystal swamp, I can see that being a pretty solid play. In a pendant swamp, I'm a little confused.
So, you of course, know all about the technique called Diver Down, where you would place a mine block or bomb jump yourself in a way so that you could check the chests underwater. And if you're going to do a full clear of swamp, going to the left side first using Diver Down and then doing the boss is faster. But it looks like since Teto is just doing the regular method of pushing the switch there, I think doing the boss first would be faster for him.
Yeah, I guess that does make sense.
Worth learning both methods of Diver Down. It can save you a lot of time in Swamp Palace, especially if you're clearing out the whole place for items.
Yeah, I did learn the bomb version. It's not. It's a little bit strange, but it does work. All right, so we found a piece of heart in Ice Palace. I don't believe we've seen any other items yet. Saw another small key, I know. A mushroom? Okay.
It's a well-preserved mushroom, I must say. Normally you just see it open and rotting, but this keeps it cool.
Yeah, it'll last a while in the fridge.
Oh, interesting Argus kill. I don't think I've ever seen him killed out the top of the room like that.
Ice rods for days, right to the face. Sounds good to me.
Often you'll see quick Argus kills done with the fire rod and just hit him with a fire rod a few times and then once with a sword. But Teto not having a temper tool just got him against that top wall and just used 100% rod strats, and not even the fire rod, but the ice rod.
Now, interestingly enough, Teto going into Swamp, beating the boss, and deciding to leave the rest of it for later.
Yeah, this really doesn't make much sense to me. I hope he didn't mismark his dungeons and thought Swamp Palace was a crystal, because that would be super unfortunate if he did that. Like, I do not understand that. If you're going to go do Swamp Palace for items, maybe he just really hates left side.
Swamp has, I think, 2 items left. We did find the map, and we also found the big key.
The compass is either going to be on the left side or in the big chest. Yeah, I don't like that. I really don't like that. Now, he does get that extra hand in from the green pendant, but when could he have... Oh, my. Literally
Ice Palace of Fetch quests. So the shovel and the mushroom found in Ice Palace. Okay.
You've got all your obtainable crystals. It's now time to do overworld this game. Have fun. Right, Teto is going to hand in that green pendant immediately. What's he going to grab? 20 rupees.
It is red, but it's the wrong red thing, unfortunately. And Dracarys is going to turn in that mushroom. We'll get to see what that is right now. Bombs.
Super late 53-minute ice okay for Teto.
Now, I mean, we may see Dracarys go for swamp here in a minute, depending on, how much, how many things he finds here.
He's already got all of the items out of Desert Palace. They could go to Tower of Hera as well. But they're fleeting to forward. This looks like swamp has pay.
Yeah.
And this is going to be super bad for Teto if there is something on that left side.
With Dracarys having already completed Ice Palace, I don't expect him to skip anything in Swamp. Absolutely. He may go to the back first or something, but...
If once you're in item hunt modes like this, because you can't do any more crystal dungeons, then you maximize your checks. Especially when it's starting to get into the late game like this. You don't really want to leave anything behind if you can help it. You just might make the wrong gamble and end up ruining it for yourself.
Yep, fair enough. I don't believe Zora nor the waterfall have been checked, so that's 4 whole items up there I don't think anybody's seen.
Correct, that entire area is a mystery. We also haven't seen the pyramid and catfish.
Yeah, that does sound like a set of items I'd like to do all together if possible.
I would also quite like to do a Hera going in, and then after Hera going to Spike Cave. That is a combo that we could potentially see as well.
Yeah, so basically nothing has been, like, super orphaned by itself, really, other than, say, Teto's left side swamp.
Now, Dracarys does not have that Cane of Samaya still, so unless they know the bomb strats for Diver down, then they're not going to save too much time in Swamp here. And if there is nothing on that left side or the big chest, then Teto could have made a really good gamble here. So this is going to be a big moment once Dracarys heads over to that portion. So for now, Dracarys is obviously heading over to the compass room down there, and might go for left side first, might go straight to the boss. If you found your go mode items from the boss, then you would need to go back inside to that slow left side. So could do the same thing, but Dracarys is hunting for items now. Let's see what he decides to do. Yeah, left side immediately. Can't fault that.
Alright, so we'll probably get to see what the bomb diver down looks like, for those of you who haven't seen it before. Yeah, so if it's been a while since you've seen a rando race, you may be thinking, wait, he just flooded the key, what is he doing? Well, you're about to find out.
You also notice that he put a bomb there by the crystal switch and then walked into the next room just as it's exploding. You'll see the results as soon as Dracarys gets through that flooded tunnel. There we go. Took a couple tries. Boom, that crystal switch just suddenly activates itself out of nowhere.
Yep.
No, Tito, you've got to go to Iced Tea to get your big key. And he's saying no. He wants. Oh, maybe he's just going to go for the loop around.
Nope.
No, he's going to Gold Star.
Well, the good news is he will manage to get the final item here, so it's not going to cost him any time or peace of mind.
Yeah, this gamble is going to work for him at least, but he's skipping items.
All right, here's left side swamp. We've got
that's a bad start. It's 3 bombs. And a compass.
Well, debated part 1.
Just a big chest left.
And we do have to go to the back to get the big key first. I believe it's in the waterfall chest.
There's either a waterfall or the flooded room. And Tito, what's your health? You've got a blue potion.
Nicely done.
That was close.
Half a heart, no problem.
But see how much
runners.
See how much more difficult that kill was for him, lacking that tempered sword. Dracarys did it cleaner and did it faster.
Another well-executed diver down for Dracarys.
Tito going to hand in his mushroom, probably do the shuffle right after that, and I don't see them ever going back into swamp for left side unless they completely out of options. So we may well be seeing the pyramid or catfish or Hera from him next. We may just go to Desert Palace and get his tempered sword.
Could be. Well, he's going to 4. Okay, yeah, he's doing the dig.
Shuffle. He's close to Darkworld portal here, so we could be seeing him head up to Pyramid after this.
Alright, so Dracarys is doing the tempered sword strats here on Argus. And once again, excellently executed.
Fluting to 3.
There. Yeah, I think we might be seeing Bumper Cave,
Ledge.
Graveyard Ledge.
Yeah, we haven't seen Bumper Ledge at all, and we've got a cave for it. Okay, so this is another option for Tito that I did not consider. He can go do the Graveyard combo and Bumper Ledge, and then just get across the river and go do Pyramid and Catfish from there.
Yep. All right, and Dracarys is going
big chest.
So we are going to get that final information on Swamp Palace. Piece of heart at Bumper Ledge.
As vanilla.
All right, the big chest.
Oh!
Ooh, debated, and Teto is bailed out. Well done.
Big time. The gambles are paying off for him. He's now got an advantage here again. Still missing that sword though.
All right, Graveyard Ledge. 300 rupees, so again, nothing huge. I'd have been tempted to pick it up because I'm about to walk by the potion shop. But I'm also bad.
Dracarys going to get to the pyramid first. I think Dracarys has already done the King's Tomb, so Tito's just double checking it like Dracarys already did.
Right.
But I might be mistaken.
All right.
But yeah.
Pyramid
First look at
play.
Pyramid coming up here. 3 bombs. Ah, yeah, the King's Tomb was a bug net. Dracarys had that for ages.
You know what I'm waiting on? Lamp. Put Lamp there and then put Kana Samari on one of the tablets.
You could see a grumpy fish cough that up.
Interesting.
Not going
Dracarys,
for Game of Grumpy Fish yet. They're going to go for the Bumper Ledge too. So platter of seafood is actually going to be delivered by Tito first.
There are a grand total of 5 items over here that we haven't seen yet, so let's take a look.
Grumpy Fish coughs up 20 rupees.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I just could have done this way earlier.
That is going to put the book in logic now.
True, this seed could start turning out to be very, very mean. And after such a promising start, too. That looks like bombs on the saw ledge, but I didn't get a really good look.
It was definitely just bombs. And the king of the scam fish, Zora himself. What do we got? Quack.
Wrong medallion. He's leaving it behind.
Yep.
Unfortunately for our
knows
tracker,
the medallions, doesn't want it.
Yeah. Unfortunately for our tracker, they are not going to get to click all the buttons today. Unless Dracarys picks it up. And whilst we're doing shoutouts to the tracker, let's get their link in chat. Dark Diplomat, a very veteran tracker, has done tracking for hundreds of races already, and is just one of the most energetic volunteers I've ever had the pleasure of meeting. So shoutouts to him. And whilst we're doing shoutouts, also shoutouts to our runners, Dracarys and Teto, doing a fantastic race for us. Still everything up for grabs here. We can't say who's in the lead right now because we are hunting for items, and our runners have done things that the other runner has not done. So shoutouts to Dracarys and Teto too. If you like what you see, there's links in chat. Give them a follow. They've definitely earned it.
And speaking of our runners, Teto is now in desert. He's going to pick up that tempered sword.
Yep. This is going to be quick for him, at least. Just going to be feeling a little sore about not doing it earlier, because that tempered sword would have saved him a lot of time in his dungeons. Dracarys does pick up the Quake Medallion. Dark Diplomat gets to click the button. I must note that Dracarys does not have the Ether Medallion marked on his tracker. Did he just completely forget about Old Man?
Yeah, he did not do Old Man. He didn't do it.
Oh, I could bite. I could really bite.
I think he's just like, I don't have the lamp. It's not in logic. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, that is a point, actually. That is a good point. Now that he has that lamp, on his next trip to Death Mountain to go do like Tower of Heron, Spike Cave, he would probably go do the Old Man right there and then. Alright, we've got Fluting Away. We've got Agina. Yep, we haven't seen Agina yet. I completely forgot about this guy.
I think Dracarys checked Agina.
Did he? I don't remember that.
My brain thinks it was a piece of heart. I could be making that up.
Oh yeah, you see now Dracarys with that lamp is now going to do an in logic Old Man. Yeah, piece of heart. You're probably right.
Then again, I've played so many of these, I could just could be mixing it up the whole time. Who knows?
Interestingly, Teto not safe and critting out of the cave. He's running out. He is floating away, but I think safe and critting would have been a little faster. But I don't
actually know. I haven't really thought about the timing.
Oh!
Oh my goodness, are we doing the Aga play?
We're doing it. We're doing it. Oh, wow.
I mean, that certainly is the play you can make here. But I mean, you've still got like Hera and Spike Cave, that sort of thing ready.
He is courageous. He's definitely earned this pendant of courage in this seed.
All right. Dracarys going to Hera, finding a big key in the cage. While Teto is biting the Aga bullet.
map in the small chest there. Going to be seeing a hair pot from Dracarys here, using hook speed on the stairs to clip themselves into the pot. I love that strat.
I can't get that to work. I don't know what you do.
Oh, I can't get half the skips in this game to work. Or probably more like 100%. That's why I love seeing them. Small key in the big chest. Tino making very quick work of the Agatha with that tempered sword and fire rod.
All right, Moldorm. Moldorm fight for Dracarys. What do we got?
We got a worm with googly eyes. He's probably going to give us an item. What item?
It's the cane! Teto's debated.
That is a whole Turtle Rock open for Dracarys. And there is a lot of items in Turtle Rock.
Yeah, I guess Tato's not completely debated. You still need to find the Bombos medallion. So
Yeah,
this could
but
lead
it's
to
just-
that.
It's far, far more likely to be in Turtle Rock at this point now. There's many, many items there. The tablets are only 2 items.
That being said, if it turns out to be on Ether tablet, Tato's in like a really good position.
Yeah. But the odds are not favoring him at this point. They really are not. It is possible that he's made one aggressive gamble too many. If Dracarys does not find Bomber's medallion here, oh wow, my heart is going to go 120 miles per hour.
It's going to be a heck of a race if that happens.
Oh yeah. And it also means that Teto can do Turtle Rock last and root out into Gen's turn. It's just so much quicker that, oh man. So unfortunately, this seed is now dragging out to be a lot slower than the start promised, but it's still exciting. I have not been counting blue balls, but this Aga seems pretty slow so far.
Must have been 3. Because I saw 2 lightning phases. All right, the traditional 2 keys and a big key at the front of Turtle Rock.
Teto sees those bombs on the pyramid because he did not check them before. Fluting to 3!
Yep,
Okay, so before tablets, we're going to get a pedestal check. Or not? Nope. Oh yeah, he's got to get the book first before he can then read the pedestal. Never mind.
Exactly.
But there's a mail steer there in a chain chomps room.
Yep, ever so almost vanilla. French vanilla, or slightly off the beaten path there, but yeah. All right, 1 batch of literacy delivered directly to Teto, courtesy of Aga 1 Industries.
He's fluting away for now, but the pedestal is going to remain a mystery.
Looks like we're going to see Bombo's tablet first. So,
It is the quickest one to check.
oh, but is he going to go back into Swamp after checking Bombo's tablet?
Nah.
He wouldn't do that.
If you're going to do a gamble like this, you've got to commit all the way before you go backtracking into locations you've already been in. So I would totally do either tablet and check pedestal after this before going into swamp and accepting. Oh, it's not here. And he could just do Hera instead of swamp. Now, that is a big trendy from the Bombers tablet, so that's 1 out of 3 down.
I mean, vanilla Bombos would have been pretty sweet. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, still got plenty of items to go into the rock, plus the bonus Mimic Cave. Now, Teto is in a good spot to do Tower of Hair once he does the Ether tablet. He probably will go do that. Oh, that's a gold sword in Mimic Cave. Nice for Trinex. Very nice for Trinex.
Yeah. You just have to remember that you have it. You know what I mean?
Like, if you get gold sword in GT, it doesn't really do anything for you once you get at that point, but getting it before Trinex is always nice. Ether tablet. 20 rupees.
Ooh.
Right, he's going to do Tower of Hair now.
That is going to be unfortunate for Teto. Does seem like
yeah,
Dracarys is going to have the real advantage.
Now, let's say it. The pedestal is available for Dracarys as well as Teto, and you do not need the book for that at all. You only need the book to actually see what's on it, and Teto has not gone and read it, so he's still flying blind regarding the pedestal. Dracarys does not have too much left in Turtle Rock. Teto using the bomb jump method of doing Herobot.
Oh, and he gets stuck.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, you got to make sure to. You can either do I think it's an up and right at the same time, or you have to push left first and then up.
Oh, looking at that, I've missed most of Laser Bridge. I haven't seen Bomber's Medallion. Oh. Small key. I think that means there's an item on Trinex. We've had both a map and compass, right?
I am not entirely certain.
Oh my.
That being said, there's also the 5/6 crystal from this dungeon, so that's a whole other
Yes,
two.
that does unlock Pyramid Fae. 2 more checks. They're going to have a second try at Tower of Hair. Still going for the Herapod. I think I would just go up and climb up the regular way just to avoid having to crit out a second time. Herapod is definitely quicker, but if you spend too much time setting it up, then actually going up the regular way is quicker itself. You gotta be fairly quick and consistent with your Herapods. Ah, there you go. Gets it done this time. Alright, Trinex. You got anything good for us? That's not good.
I mean, there is still another item in Hera that Dracarys never got.
What's that item in the basement?
Apparently so.
He's got that mirror out. He's heading back. Yeah, he's going to go for that basement check. It's going to be pretty close between them doing that basement check, but Dracarys is ahead a whole turn of rock. That's big. There's that cane for Teto.
Yeah, Zora has been checked by both runners. It was, in fact, the Quake Medallion, but Teto decided not to pick it up. And the lamp was over there in the waterfall cave. So that prompted Teto to go for the Aga play, which unfortunately seems to have been complete bait.
Yeah, it is complete bait, because, like I mentioned before, you can't pull that pistol without a book. And both those tablets were just 20 rupees each. You're probably going to see him do the exact same thing as Dracarys here. Go do Turtle Rock first, not find his bombers medallion, and then go back to the basement.
And if it's not here, you probably go to Spike Cave.
Piece of art. We are losing checks. Oh boy. A pestle is becoming a really big threat here.
It's true.
And I think it's pretty likely that Dracarys will... Whoa. Dracarys only has Desert Palace to do. That's quick. I think Dracarys would go for pedestal over Book of Madura first.
Oh yeah, I would.
Spike Cave, 20 rupees. That just leaves Pyramid Fairy. Yeah, I can't say, especially unless Dracarys does do the unexpected and goes for Aggro over the pedestal. It's hard to say that Dracarys doesn't have a big advantage here. But if he does go to Aggro 1, it's all in Tito's hands again. You can get to Aggro 1 super... Yeah, Chad points out, you can get to Aggro 1 super quickly once you've done the big bomb, because the entrance is right there. So it is possible. But Desert Palace is so quick and easy to get to and clear the boss and just go to pedestal. I think that would be done first.
Yeah. I mean, basically, you go with, like, number of checks divided by time, and I'm thinking it might be... It's still probably better. And
it's not here.
Look like things are going to happen. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. He's going for Aga 1.
Oh, man. Oh, I'm kicking my desk right now. This race has just gone really exciting. Oh, my word.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Unless we have forgotten something incredibly important, Bombos is on the pedestal, and neither of our runners know it.
Tito had a perfect chance to do that right after grabbing the book, but nope, left it behind. He's been playing this seed really aggressively, I must say. I think this is pretty good. Tito, judging from the previous times I've seen him, he plays aggressively. He likes to skip things. Sometimes it works for him. Sometimes it doesn't.
If I were Teto in this situation, after beating this and Hera and Spike Cave, I would probably go check the pedestal before deciding whether to go back to Swamp, and that would give him a little bit of an advantage, not having to go do left side Swamp.
I'd definitely take the pedestal over going back into Swamp. Swamp is slow. If you're going back into check left side. Really slow.
At least Dracarys is doing a pretty good job of just sprinting right through Aga Tower here.
It has been a long time since I covered a pedestal seed, but this is going to be a very exciting pedestal seed. That is assuming we haven't missed anything. Sometimes I do miss things, but I think pedestal is our last unchecked location. We have nothing else left.
I imagine the chat would be screaming at us otherwise.
Alright, this wasn't a particularly fast Aga 1, so I think Dracarys will get this done before Teto finishes off his Trinex. But Dracarys will have to go get that book. May go check the pedestal right after getting that book, which would save them time getting at tablets. It's close here. It's real close. A nice convenient hard hat beetle knocks Teto into the pit and gets him back to the front of the room.
Intentional damage boosts, of course.
Teto is nicely equipped with that cold sword, so he'll be making equally quick work of this Trinex here.
Also, just out of curiosity, do you know what it says when Bombos is on the pedestal?
I do not remember.
I believe it says, "Burn, baby, burn, fear my ring of fire." Don't hold me to it.
Yeah. I remember that, yeah. Most of the pedestal messages I remember are from the Super Metroid Zelda 3 crossover, actually.
No more water physics.
One unfortunate time, boing, 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 because it was a hookshot.
Gross.
Last crystal, Dracarys is on their way to Zora. No, this is.
Oh no, this is the faster way to get to. To get to the lumber factory.
Teto fluting. He's fluting free. He's going to check that pedestal. He's going to get that.
Question is Dracarys going to go straight to the tablets, or is Dracarys going to check the pedestal?
Has this done more checks than Teto, like left side swamp? No, he's fluting away. Oh, the pendulum is swinging in Teto's favor here. The difference in the seed could be a left side swamp. Wow. There it is. There it is. It couldn't be anywhere else.
All he's got to do now is head to Desert Palace.
He must be feeling so good about skipping that left side swamp now.
Yeah, it looks like Teto has somehow found himself back in the lead here. Ever so slightly.
Dracarys not too happy with that ether tablet. Not going for the pedestal yet. Going to do that bomber's tablet, of course.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't a terrible idea. You can, if you do an ether tablet, then you come go do Bombo's tablet, and if it's not it, you just run into desert because there it is. I guess you probably just flute and mirror, but still.
We have seen Dracarys do everything else in the seed, so Desert Palace is the only option. Once they do this bomber's tablet, they know it's got to be pedestal, and they will do the blind pull. But Desert Palace is quick to get to anyway, because it's just a flute away, so...
Dracarys with the frustration slashes there. Now, I don't mean to disparage anybody's play or skill here, but from what I have seen so far, it does seem like Dracarys' play, Dracarys' execution has been slightly more clean than Teto's throughout. And so this could still definitely swing back the other way.
This could come down to Ganon's Tower routing, it could come down to Ganon's Tower execution, and Ganon himself. Our runners are not far behind each other, but Tito's definitely had a rougher time this seed, especially lacking a sword for so long. But due to playing just a little bit more aggressively than Dracarys, he's got a bit of a time advantage here. Not much. But the lead is his to lose for now.
I mean, it's possible that a little bit of routing in Misery Mire might come into play.
True.
Like, there's not a huge amount of variation there, but it's still possible.
Yeah. If you've got a Go Mode Mire, you never get the God Mire with the big key being in the first two chests. So a little bit of variation there. Some runners like to do the cutscene chest just in their general routing through the palace. Others just to put it off as long as possible and do everything else.
All right, Teto is the first to open Misery Mire.
Setting the bird on fire and collecting a green rupee.
And door at 2908. We have the same idea. I couldn't have asked for a better race to cover, let me tell you.
I've covered a few pedestal seats in my time, but not once this close.
All right, first chest in Misery Mire.
Going for the, I call this the bridge chest first. That's the small key. If you get the big key there, then you can hover across the gap. But have to...
That is a way to make up some time in Mire.
Runners go for the big key in this chest because they can't hover, and if they find it there, then they can just go straight for the door. Okay, Godmire unconfirmed, as to be expected.
Yep. As stated by the chat, exactly 75-second difference between these runners coming in here. Going for the lobby chest first, no surprises here. And we have a map. So at this point, it's probably a good idea to come over here. If you see a small key in this upper chest, you know for a fact that the big key is in the cutscene room. But if you see something else, it could very well be elsewhere.
That's powder there. He's going to put off a cutscene for now. He's going to check out the big chest and the small chest. Well, not the big chest, because if you can check the big chest, then you don't need to check the big chest.
And it's cutscene time.
Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't take that long to go out of the way to check, and it would save you a significant amount of time if you didn't need to do it. So I certainly am not surprised by that.
We'll probably seeing Dracarys do the same thing, although if he does go for the cutscene first, he'll save some time.
Teto almost did what I tend to do occasionally, which is light those torches again for no reason.
Oh, his first time through the room, he dropped 2 bombs instead of using his fire rod. Quick, stop playing against him. Dracarys grabs that map.
And just like before, Dracarys is going to go for the small key here. I think Dracarys probably saved a little bit of time by screen transitioning one or two less times.
Yeah, like he's doing that instead of going to the left side where you've got the chests locked by the torches. So he saves a little bit of time there. And that is the correct play to make. Our runners are so close, and that they've got to make up time where they can. It's down to execution here. It's really close between runners.
That is, in fact, Vanilla Big Key, correct. Is it spooky time? Because I think it's spooky time.
Oh, Teto set up spooky. I didn't catch Dracarys, unfortunately. In fact, he set up spooky the first time when he was going to Desert Pass, which I thought, hang on, is that actually going to work? So although we are in the month of November, things are getting spooky here in the basement. And double spooky. You love to see it.
Yeah. I think there are actually 3 instances of spooky being used there. Once in the room with the spike, once in the room there, the one with the anti-fairies in it, and once in that room just before this one. So, yeah.
So here's another that's made way easier with that gold sword, Vitreous.
Yeah. Vitreous takes a beating from a gold sword there. My personal favorite strategy on Vitreous with really any sword, Master Sword or better, is to just turn on the cape and get in there and slash like mad.
I would have done the same thing there. He had that cape equipped, he just didn't use it.
Absolutely, Ped Seed, correct. The pedestal contained the Bombos medallion, which was required for Misery Mire. Speaking of which, Teto has his 7th crystal, so guess what we're doing? This time for some big key guessing games.
Typing in my dollar start when he did it. But hey, get your guesses in chat for where you think the big key is in Ganon's Tower. And considering our runners are really close to each other, we are going to be going off Tito's guesses for this. So if Dracarys decides to go do a different route and gets the big key first, that's not going to be the number we punch in. It's going to be when Teto grabs it. But do get your guesses in, because we have a competition of all manner of hype going on here.
Okay, Teto narrowly avoids getting blocked by Dead Rocks there.
I'm going to say right now, if Teto wins this, the difference is going to be left side swamp.
That is true.
It's going to be bad for Dracarys. But is Dracarys going to get the edge here based on execution? He has had a clean seed overall. It's all up for grabs here.
All right. Teto will be entering Ganon's Tower in just a short minute. And when that happens, we will be cutting off the guesses. So get your guesses in now.
I'm seeing at least one full tracker here. I'm sure Dark Diplomat would appreciate that. Tito's starting off in Hope Room. Get some map first. No small key. He's forced to the left side.
So there'll be very little variation in the routing here. There is the possibility for the sort of Dark Magician route where you head to the right, to the left side, to the Stalfos room, and then head right.
It's caught up on that small key there. He tried to grab it, but kept dashing away before he actually grabbed it. And
yeah, that was an elusive small key.
That's the kind of mistake he can't afford to make with Dracarys this close behind. Like, if Dracarys goes straight left, which is like the typical Dark Magician play, then he's going to make up some time already. Alright, Teto he's going to mirror. Yeah, he switches back to hookshot. Bit of a item misuse there. He's going to stick on the left side though. No Dark Magician for him, and it looks like Dracarys is going to do Dark Magician.
This could make a huge difference. The 3rd small key has been found. Or the 3rd item small key, that is. There's plenty under pots that we haven't seen yet.
Dracarys on that air. Move to the right side now. If a big key is right side, advantage Dracarys. If it's not, advantage Teto. It's down to rooting here.
One of the interesting one of the advantages to doing the Dark Magician route here is you don't have to kill those Stolfos in that room. So you can ignore that and move on.
The last time I saw Dark Magician, there was also a Tower Room gamble. I'm really glad that Dracarys hasn't gone for that. Only the maddest of madmen go for a Tower Room gamble.
I mean, at this rate, though, you never know.
Right side has 10 hours.
All right, it's in here. There it is.
Key. Advantage Dracarys.
Yep. If there's a small key in that room, there's also a big key in that room. That's guaranteed. Same thing with randomizer room. Meanwhile, we'll get to see an Ice Armos fight from Teto. Which, if you're a fan of Ice Armos, this is the only one you'll get to see, so good luck with that.
Played this seed quite aggressively. He just hasn't gone for the aggressive play here in Gannis Tower, which is typically the Dark Magician, because that gets you the most chests in the least amount of time. And if you do have to go back to Ice Armors, it can cost you a little more time. But that's the thing. If you play Dark Magician, you're playing aggressively and you're hoping to get that big key early. Teto is not too far behind, but Dracarys definitely has the edge on execution, I believe, and he's going to pull ahead here in the gauntlet. So unless Dracarys makes a critical mistake or takes a Ganon fall or something, it's his race to lose now.
All right, so that is the official key number 20 for Teto.
19 has done well for me in previous leagues, but I haven't had any luck with it so far. Alright, Teto starting his gauntlet. Dracarys in the second reserve room. Not accidentally getting poked by the red guard sail and he is dashed through. Plenty of magic to work with still, so the torches will not be an issue. We'll have to switch to the lamp for this.
So, if you're Dracarys here, do you check these chests in hopes of finding silvers?
Maybe not the Helma Sword chests. But I think I would check the Bunny Beam and Anti-Fairy chest and Moldorm 2 chest. Alright, he's skipping that.
Now, if he skips this chest, it's just out of spite. Let's just put it that way.
I mean, Moldorm 2 is the kind of boss that you just shouldn't treat with anything other than pure hatred and spite.
Oh, come
on! Okay, then.
Obviously, Dracarys knows how to do silvers. That would be... that'd be silly if he didn't, but... there it is.
Rip Dark Diplomat never gets to mark that red boomerang. Starting off with, I think, a double on Agatu. as either another double or single. I couldn't quite tell. Okay. 2-1-2 so far. 2-1-2-1.
That's the product of 3 distinct primes. Anyway, I'm dumb.
Teto taking a little longer on his torches. This is the difference in execution here between Teto and Dracarys. He's switching to his lamp for those torches, and he didn't need to because he's got half magic. He would have had enough magic for lighting all those torches for Farrod.
So basically, it just came down to the difference in routing here within the tower.
Dark Magician first is left side play. Dark Magician 1. Teto does not open the Helmasaur chests too. I was expecting that. Same with that chest. Gold Sword makes phase 2 of Ganon really quick and easy. You don't need Gold Sword, you can get through this in one cycle using the Tempered Sword and having the Magic Cape and half magic.
Oh, look at Teto just disrespecting the final chest. Little does he know that chest is in fact the silver arrows.
I was expecting him to miss that one too. That is a nice double hit on Ganon there. One more hit will take him down. There he goes. Okay, so got to cross the bridge here, and they're staying far enough from the bridge that we're not going to get an accidental fall here. And with an official racetime.gg time of 1 hour, 44 minutes and 58 seconds, Dracarys finishes in first place. GG. We'll see if we can get both of our runners in for interviews. I will have to find their Discord IDs because the bot's being a little bit temperamental lately.
Uh-huh.
And he's starting his own Ganon fight.
And we are now joined by the winner, Dracarys. Congratulations.
Thanks. That was a wild ride.
Yes, it was. My goodness. So we were convinced you had this thing in the bag all the way up until it turned out the Bombos was on the pedestal, and then Teto got it about 75 seconds before you did. But then the Ganon's Tower key routing changed it back, so it was real close there.
Yeah, I think the pedestal kind of saved me though, because I was so sure that I was screwed when I got both the Ether and the Cane on West Death Mountain, which I skipped early, and I'm like, okay, Bombos is probably just in TR, and I'm screwed and I lose. And since I did Swamp already and Tower of Hera already, it didn't really cost me all that much to go back to pedestal at some point later, but it was still my last location.
At that point, your opponent had already done Aga 1 to get the book. And actually had left side swamp left, I believe, and decided to go check the pedestal first before heading there, and ended up finding out, because at that point we had seen everything, but you all hadn't. It was quite the exciting seed. I don't know about you guys. It was real good. Yeah, it's pretty great stuff. So the people in chat were trolling us by saying, "Oh, Dracarys doesn't know how to do silverless." That's clearly false, right?
Of course, I know how to do silverless, but I was pleasantly surprised at the silvers.
Yeah, that was kind of hilarious. I think Teto actually delayed ever so slightly to get the time to line up exactly on the minute. And there is Teto at an exact 1 hour 48 minutes time of finishing. Congratulations on finishing, and sorry about the loss here, but it was such a good race from where we were sitting. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, hey, greetings. GG's Dracarys. Yeah, that's the seed you want to play, you don't want to play. It's yeah, that's Rando. Great seeds, great stuff.
And the thing is, you had about a 75-second lead going into Misery Mire.
Oh.
Because you pulled the pedestal a little bit before Dracarys could. The only the real thing that got you in the end again was just the Ganon's Tower route, as Dracarys decided to take the Dark Magician thing and go right, and you kept going left. That was basically it.
Yeah, there were many little execution mistakes, and I knew Dracarys is a strong player. 2 weeks back to back against very good opponents, and I thought like you have to play a bit. And going to Stelfor's room after this, I decided, should I go right side? Maybe this could be the play, going for the seed, but I somehow went for left. I couldn't really decide if I'm in the lead or not. It was such a weird situation. With all these layout, and if you see your opponent hasn't finished right now, he must have done nearly the same struggle. Yeah.
Yeah, and this seed handed you guys basically everything real early in the seed except that cane and that bombos. It was just like, here you go.
I like the early game. It was basically just rush dungeons all over the place until you run out of stuff to do, and then you kind of have to find your other stuff. Well, I guess you get your cane and your ether on Death Mountain, so you can do your 6 crystal. But then at some point, you just go into pendant dungeons to search for that stupid bombos.
Yeah, it smelled so fishy. Then the first crystal was like, oh, just routing the overworld right into it now. You can do it with Hype Cave into Thieves Town, into Skullwoods. Not going directly for the crystal, just try to delay a little bit and find one item you need. Oh, there's a hookshot, great. And yeah, then the Death Mountain play, and I just didn't dare even to dip into Hera at this point.
Yeah, I didn't even save the old man on my first trip up there.
Oh, great.
So, Teto, can I ask you about the swamp play early in the seed? You went in kind of early, at least before going into ice, but you deliberately skipped left side swamp after going through it. What is it? Just you just hate left side swamp? That's the thing.
Yeah, I just hate it. I was deciding going first into Ice Palace, and I was like, well, maybe you can get some lucky item. Even the Sumeria would be great at this point, in somehow lying in swamp behind the hookshot. Maybe there wasn't anything really hookshot locked, and so I was hoping maybe back off swamp, and I really going back there late game. Late game I really go back in after I done the boss. If I like just looking for one item, but at this point there were so many options, and as you said, Ice Palace as the next play. I didn't check Lake Hylia Island, so I went east there after that.
Yeah, so the swamp play, I mean, at the time we were like, okay, swamp is complete garbage, but it technically wasn't. Because you did eventually have to do that on account of the pedestal thing here. Whew.
Yeah, I was back and forth doing like whiskey stuff and back to the dungeons, whiskey stuff, back to the dungeons, and yeah, it wasn't really the best play, and neither played out for one of us, so yeah, it was close because the pedestal was the end.
Yeah, both, again, yeah, speaking of back and forth, this race between you two, my goodness, it was just honestly one of the better races I've ever seen. Not even kidding. So I'm gonna point to this one all the time when people ask me, what's a good race to see. This one right here, all day long, every day.
Oh, that's quite an honor. Thanks for that. Yeah, I mean, that's Invitational League. It's so close races all over the place. I mean, our division is pretty strong in every regard, and yeah, I don't think there's really one race where you will say like, oh, this was pretty decided early on.
All right. So, I've been kind of monopolizing the interview here. Revolving Ocelot, do you have anything you want to ask here?
Not really. I just want to second the opinion that this is one of my favorite pedestal seats I've ever seen. And it was an absolute pleasure to witness you guys doing it. Such a close race. And it really just came down to rooting at the end and one chest. Just one chest. But definitely my favorite pedestal seat ever. Thank you guys so much for putting on this race for us.
Yeah, thanks for commentating this game, both of you, and of course for tracking it. Dracarys, once again, I think we played in the second German tournament ages ago, and
Yeah.
I couldn't
I
get
think
a
we
win
also
there.
tied there at some point.
Yeah, so maybe we'll see again next time as well. It was a pleasure playing, and yeah, that's everything for me from this side.
All right. Once again, thank you to both of our runners, Dracarys and Teto, for putting on an excellent show today. If you enjoyed what you see here, it would be the best of you to give these guys a follow here on Twitch, especially after the amazing display we've seen here today. Also, our tracker, Dark Diplomat, for doing an excellent job keeping track of all of the items here, which is a much underrated job, and it's so important for all of us to keep track of what's going on. And of course, my co-commentator, Revolving Ocelot. It has been quite a pleasure.
And mine too. Absolute my pleasure. Don't turn away from Speed Gaming channels just yet. On Speed Gaming 3, we have WJPDTB versus Did You Check Your Boots? That is about 1 hour in. That is in the name of DT versus Rampant Revenant. Just started a little while ago on Speed Gaming 2 is the 2019 Titan Smiths of 2019 versus Error 216. A lot of numbers in those two names. Dante versus Big Dunker. Lots of amazing runners on tonight. And a little later on the main Speed Gaming channel, we have OP Got Good versus the Bomb Squadron, and Sir Linkalot and Synac representing those two. But that is at 9:10 Eastern. So lots more league action happening tonight. Do check this out. I am going to check out the next races because I want to see stuff equally as exciting as this race.
All right. Once again, thank you all for watching. And with that, I think it's about time to wrap it up. So I'll just say that I have been Dr. Bobtastic, and I will see you all at a later occasion. Goodbye, everybody.
Have a good one.